Hey everybody, welcome to PBI Radio. It's Chris Guns, and it's time for another revisit. Another one of my early interviews, this one with Mike Anchondo. Pretty enjoyable, great talker, great guy.
I was born in LA at a Monterey Park Hospital.
And tell me about your home life.
My home life, I grew up initially I grew up until I was 5 in Lincoln Heights, and we moved to La Puente. When we made the move to La Puente, that's when I went to my first gym, which was the Ballin Park Boys and Girls Club. And it's been history since then.
And did you have brothers, sisters? Who did you grow up with?
I have one brother and 3 sisters. My grandparents, fortunately, took us under their wing. At the time, my mom needed assistance. I had a broken home. So my grandparents took us under their wing, and I grew up with them. They raised us. It was a great experience, and I appreciate what they've done. They helped me grow and pursue my career till I became an adult. And it was, ultimately my call.
And what kind of kid were you?
I was a great kid. I believe. I got into small time trouble. Initially, when we had made the move, I was in and out of, my grandparents took us under their wing when I was like 12 years old. So before that, I was off and on with them, and then with my mom. When I'd stay with my mom, I tended to venture off and get into my own little trouble. I got a little taste of the streets. It wasn't nothing, major. It was just, hanging around with the wrong crowd. Mainly something that my grandfather saw, and that's when he had decided that it wasn't the right environment for me. And like I said, he fortunately, he spoke with my mother, and my mother agreed. At the time, it was the right time to, live with him and my grandmother. So that's when he came to me, and he had told me, we want to help your mother out, and adopt you. So they adopted my brothers and my sisters and I.
And who got you interested in boxing to begin with?
He did, my grandfather, and it was a blessing, it was something that I feel, it was, he just believed that was a sport for me, and he was right on. I've had my battles with boxing. My relationship with boxing, has been a teeter-totter at times, but for the most part, it's been a steady, great adventure.
And were you good as soon as you started?
There was definitely some talent, hitting the bag. My trainer then, he had mentioned to my grandfather, I believe, that I was talented, and then there was one trainer that he had me train with for like 2 or 3 months, and then Eddie the Animal Lopez, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, he started training me. it was great. You know, he taught me a lot of stuff, and you know, he knew a lot about the boxing, and you know, he had me spar, and for the first time I sparred, and it was great. You know, we were under his wing for about, I'd say about 7-8 months maybe, and then we had gone to our first fight. We had gone a couple of fights, and one of the fights was at Ramona Gardens, and that's where we met Joey Olivo.
Mm-hmm.
And
thought you were done.
no, and Joey Olivo, you know, he was friends of my uncle, and we had asked my uncle about him, and my uncle had told us about him, and he said, you know, he's a great trainer, you know, he'd be a great trainer. And at the time, Eddie had some issues that he was going through, so we felt that it was best to part ways, and you know, we kind of just told him, like, we're gonna go move on, and he's okay with it. We asked Joey. We'd be able to come to the gym and train with them, and he agreed, and you know, he took me along my career from the age of 6 to 18 up until my first professional fight.
Mm-hmm. And what age were you when you turned amateur officially?
8 years old. The month after.
8 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. And what was your whole record?
My amateur record, I'd have to say, it was like 140, 150, and like 18 losses, 18 losses. Yeah. I had a really good record, and I'm very proud of my record.
And you won the silver medal in the 1998 International Junior Olympics. How'd you feel winning the silver medal?
It was great. I thought they brought me. You know, I thought that I'd won the gold. I'm not gonna be. I'm a little sorry about it. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it was something that I worked hard for. You know, and what an awesome adventure to be able to spend time at the University of Northern Michigan University, and you know, I stayed there for about 2 weeks, and I got to train under the guidance of a gentleman who they had he was from Texas. I forget his name. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a good guy, you know. And you know, the trainers pretty much told us, we're not gonna try and change you. We're just gonna try and help you. So it was great. You know, I had a great time. I trained hard, and then from there, from the 2 weeks we trained there, and then I flew over to Mexico, and we were in Ensenada. I had the first fight, I believe. I beat a guy from Ukraine. I want to say something like that. And second fight, I beat the Mexico B team, and I was like, what? You have an A and B? So I was a little confused about that, but I beat him. You know, whatever. You know, give me a freaking fight. I beat him, and then they had the Mexico A team, which consisted of a gentleman by the name of Francisco Bojado. Francisco Bojado, funny, I beat Francisco Bojado to get to that point. But the reason why I had to fight him twice was because he decided that he was going to lose here in the U.S. and then jump ship to Mexico and then represent the Mexican team. So, I'm a little bit bitter, I'm not going to lie, only because with that, he really deterred any type of hopes for me to join the Olympic team, and it just, that just really, really bothered me. But I'm not. What are you gonna do? So what's that?
Did you feel you won that fight too? You felt?
I felt I won it. I felt I won it. It was 2-1, and there was 2 Mexican judges and 1 Japanese judge. I mean, I don't know. I just feel that something was fishy there. But what are you gonna? Like I say, there's nothing I could say. There's nothing I could do. I just accepted it. And walked out with my head held high because my family showed up. It was great. My family and friends, they went all the way to TJ to help me out and cheer me on. It was great. It was just it was a great adventure for me. One of my many. So I went. I got a silver medal in the Junior Olympics, the World Championships.
And you won the gold medal at the '98 U.S. Junior Olympics. How'd that feel to win gold that went all the way?
It was it's just a great feeling. Just to be able to work hard. There's not many people who understand the hard work that I put into my training. A lot of people, naturally are going to highlight the flaws in your career, and a lot of people have, may have perceived me as, not working hard or whatever because of my issues with weight and all that, but I've worked very hard my whole life. I put a lot of hard work, and it's just a great thing to be able to show that hard work and win, and win the gold and be the best, that there is in the nation or in the world even, or whatever, so that's what I was getting at is, it's just all that put into that last, night or that last fight. It's just awesome to be able to get your hand raised. It's something that I'm sure that you could ask any fighter, and he'll agree that it's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
And it is. Congratulations. It's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Then you were a semi-finalist in the '99 U.S. Under-19.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was cool. I went up against one of my arch rivals, Steven Luevano. And it was just another close fight. It was something about him that just kind of left me. We met up about 5 times or something like that, and he defeated me 3 out of the 5. So he got more defeats than me, which kind of, me being a fighter, of course, a winning fighter, it bothers me a little, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, it bothers me, but for the most part, though, kudos to him, What more can I'm not gonna talk bad about the guy, he's a fighter, he's a good fighter, well, I wouldn't say go that far, I'd say good, but he knew how to maneuver enough to get a win. So, it is what it is. So that was that story about there.
And then
there are some Silver Gloves national championships that I won, which is awesome. Another great feeling. I had gone one time. My first time going over to Lenexa, Kansas was when I was 8 years old, and I got a silver medal that year. And I told myself, the next time I come here, I'm gonna win the gold. And I earned the year after or 2 years down the road, and I went all the way and I won gold, and then I did it again, and I won gold again, and then I did it again, and I won gold again. So I was pretty victorious with being able to follow through and win that tournament there, Silver Gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Blue and gold.
I'm sorry. Was your last competition as an amateur the '99 Police Athletic League tournament? Was that the last one?
It may have been. Yeah, that was when I had gone to Orlando.
Yeah.
The Nationals. I was overweight, of course, because I'm a growing boy and I had weight problems.
Mm. And what happened in that tournament, though?
I went all the way up to the Nationals, and then the Nationals came around, and then something happened where I couldn't make the weight. I don't know why. I worked hard. I sweat a lot, and I just couldn't make it. So, there's not much. I was going to fight. It's funny, because I think I was going to fight Darling Jimenez, who later beat me. He's one of my defeats, and I lost to him on walkover because I was just overweight, a couple pounds, and I couldn't do it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like I said, I take my losses with the green rice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really dwell on them. I used to get me down to the extreme,
mm-hmm.
and then I said, I'm getting in the ring with another guy, and that's it. No one else is, so, whatever, like, something would happen, I was going to lose, I'm not going to take it, I'm not going to take it extremely horrible and be, I had to live up to a high, it would seem like when I was young, I had to live up, I had very high expectations, so it was hard for me a little. It was a little difficult, but for the most part, my amateur career turned out okay.
Mm-hmm. And what made you decide to turn pro when you did?
Because I could. I said I want to turn pro. I mean, ever since I was an amateur, I wanted to be pro. So as soon as I could, I mean, you could see when I turned pro, it was a month after my birthday.
Being such a successful amateur, you had to have like a lot of high-powered people coming after you. Who was coming after you at the time?
At the time, Top Rank, we were negotiating with Top Rank, and there was a couple other offers that we had. I can't think of the names, but they were private, to manage me more than promote me. Top Rank was a major one, though.
Mm-hmm.
And then a gentleman, Frank Espinoza, came into my career, and he built me up. I believe it was 15-0, with like 13 knockouts or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A great record, I fought for him during that time. During that time, I had a great relationship with the gentleman by the name of Chato Robles. Chato Robles was my trainer during all that time, and just a great trainer.
And who was your trainer in your first fight? When you first turned pro, was it him too?
Joey was.
What's his name, Joey?
After that, Joey Olivo.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my trainer up until that fight, and then we had to. It was like a little mix-up, and it was just kind of like we agreed to disagree, and we parted ways like that.
Do you remember who you fought first and where it was and what the result was?
I fought at Fantasy Springs Casino It was a month after my birthday, May. It was May 16th, I believe, something like that. It was against a gentleman by the name of Ramon Ortiz, I think. I could be wrong, but
wrong on the date. It was May 6th. It was May 6th, not 16th.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. That's
but
all right.
everything else was okay. I still got my marbles. Are you testing me? And it was the fourth round knockout. You know, the guy was tough. He was tough. He came to fight, and I came to fight naturally, and I was just fighting. I was just fighting. I was nervous. I was in the dressing room, and they said, "You might go up now." I was like a swing bout. So you might go up now, you might go up now, you might go up now. And I was just like, the whole time, just, getting ready. I remember pacing back and forth. I had Joey was nervous too for me. And, my grandfather was there, and he was nervous too, and that didn't make it any better. So, and I had my family out front. My family was, cheering me on, and friends and stuff had come over to see me. So, it was like my first time on the big stage, and I remember being in the back in the dressing room. They had those tents, outside. And I remember looking outside, like peering outside and looking at the crowd, and I was just like in awe, like, damn, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight, and I'm not going to have a headgear, and I'm not going to, it's going to be 8 ounce gloves, and this guy's going to try to rip my head off. But I thought about that for a minute, and then I didn't, I just kind of forgot about it, and I just said, I'm just going to do it. It is what it is. I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm here. I'm here now. There's no going back. So they called me up, and it was, like I say, it was a great showing. It was a great fight for me.
And how did it feel winning your first fight?
Being able to get that knockout was so uplifting. Just with my self-esteem, with everything, because at the time I wasn't sure. I mean, I was sure about my abilities, but I just wasn't sure if I was cracked up to it. I was just nervous. So being able to accomplish that, it was just just very, very pivotal in my life. In general, just my life period. It just kind of brought a new confidence to my being, because of what I've gone through in the past. It was kind of erased a little with that win, like I'm in the big leagues now, kind of thing. So it was awesome. It did great for me. Really, really did.
And you fought, you kept getting win after win, and then you finally had your first big test, I'd say, against Ever Bolaño.
Oh, man.
About that fight, man. Did you feel like
that guy was an experienced, crafty veteran who came to make it the hardest on me. He was a southpaw. He was a crazy Colombian. He had a sick record of like 38 wins and like 35 knockouts. He may have had 11 losses, but he had 35 knockouts out of his 38 wins. So a lot of after I said, shit, for my first real test, that's not all that bad. The guy cut me the first round, the first round and the second round, I believe, and I went on. I fought on. He cut me twice. He cut me in the second round and the 8th round, I believe. And I went on to beat him unanimously. 10 rounds. After that, I remember, coming down. My cut man was Chuck Bodak. Chuck Bodak was my cut man. One of the best cut men, if not the best cut man out there. Yeah. And ever. and Chuck was just a good guy, and he said, "Shit, kid, you got a lot of blood." let me work on this. But he took me right away. He did his thing, and he stopped the bleeding. And it's funny because really good friends of mine. They have a collection of photos of me, you know, kind of during the times that I fought, and you know, there was some times when I fought in amateurs or whatever. So they've you know, these individuals have followed my career since I was 8 years old, and it's in their hall, and they have like a little wall of fame, and there's one picture of me after the Ever Belenio fight, laying down and just, you know, kind of giving a fist up, and they have it of my eyes, and both my eyes are wide open, just mean gashes. It's disgusting. It's just like 2-inch gashes, and I see, wow, you know what I mean? Just to be able to go on and fight like that, you know. And Chuck, you know, luckily I had Chuck in my corner because, you know, he was able to stop the bleeding, and then, you know, he did some where, you know, he diverted the bleeding. I don't know what Chuck did. You know, Chuck worked his magic, you know, and it wasn't stopped. The fight wasn't stopped, and it went on, and I won.
How do you feel in the dressing room when Chuck Bodak first? You see him with pictures of you all over his head.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I told him too. I noticed that, and there were ugly pictures. Like you know, back in the day, I was like, I had this ugly looking style, and I said, Chuck, is that me on your head? He says, you're lucky, kid. Today's your day, you know. So, and every time I would fight, you know, we fought. He was in my corner up until from my second fight, I believe, which was at the pond, to my 15th fight, which was there at Saboba. He was in my corner, you know, and after, you know, after the Saboba fight, Oscar De La Hoya Promotions, Golden Boy Promotions, I guess they signed me, and that's when, you know, Chuck and Oscar didn't get along, so it was kind of an uncomfortable party, you know. And Chuck, I had gotten a hold of Chuck a couple fights after, because Chuck, naturally, he was hurt a little bit, and I got a hold of my pal, spoke to him in person, and we kind of made amends, you know. I said, hey, Chuck, you know, I just got to do what I got to do. As soon as I can, you know, we could do this again. Or he tells me, no, I'm gonna retire. You know, I'm gonna hang him up. And a few months after that, Chuck passed. You know, he was tired. You know.
You feel it at that age, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you know, I saw him at Chaparro's funeral. That's right. You know, and that's when he told me that, you know, and I said, wow.
Who was it? Who did you say?
Chaparro's, when he passed. Yeah, because Chuck and Chapo, they were really close. So I finally saw him, and, you know, he gave me the finger, and that's when I went up and hugged him, you know, because I hadn't spoke to him. I was a little iffy about, you know, how Chuck was gonna, you know, talk to me, or if he was even gonna give me his time, you know. But he gave me the finger, and that's when I went up, and that was like kind of like the sign of what's up, you know. So that's when we made amends, and I told him, you know, I told him I was sorry. I was sorry that we had to part, you know, because I loved the guy. I really did. I really loved him. Chato Robles, I loved, you know, just awesome individual. Old school, really old school. You know, they were, you know, if there was a symbol comprised of the individuals involved in boxing, they would be a part of it.
Yeah, it's true. And you feel at that time after beating Bolaño? Did you feel like you were ready for anybody at that point?
I was definitely, I had my self-esteem was definitely high. Did you see that? Oh, I was definitely, you know, my self-esteem was high, and I felt that passing that test, I grew up a little bit, you know, and yeah, maybe, you know, like I was ready for the next one, you know. I said, I gotta heal and on to the next one, you know. Bring them on, you know. It's kind of like that's kind of how I did my whole career, you know. And there's times when I'm blind, you know, and you know, there's not much film and there's not much knowledge of the fighter, but I would just go in and do it, you know. All right, let's go, you know, because you know, I love to do it. Yeah, I love to do it. I love, you know, when I believe in my abilities, and when they tell me, you know, you got a fighter, his name, I don't know him, not very much footage, and let's go, let's fight. Whatever.
Warrior.
Yeah, that's how you do it, right? You know? So that's
thought you were done.
hard. What's that?
I thought you were done. I was gonna.
No. But that's how I just want to say that's how I look at, you know, all my fights now. You know, I don't anticipate. I participate.
You fought Angel Rios. Tell me about that fight.
That fight was a test also. That was the first big on-stage performance, signing up a Golden Boy. You know, it was at the Grand Olympic Auditorium. Awesome. There was electricity in the audience. I know what they say. I know how that feels, you know, when you have electricity, because it was the first time that they had a big show there. I believe they had other shows, but this one was like a really big one, and I was excited. I was nervous. I remember Angel Rios. He came to fight. I remember him giving me attitude in the dressing room. In the press conference. I said, this guy's gonna want to fight. You know, and he was a tough fighter. You know, we took it all. I believe it went 10. We fought for like the WBC youth title, and that's when I beat him. He was crafty. You know, he not much. He was crafty with his hands, not with his feet. He was very, very how can I say, like tank-like, you know. He was just bulky, and you know, he'd just come at me, and he just a lot of pressure. But I was able to outbox him. I just outboxed him, and you know, I got the W, and we got that WBC youth under the belt, which was awesome. It was in front of a crowd of like 6,000 or 7,000 or something like that. So that was pretty cool.
You're a real good interviewer because you answered like every question I had about that fight. I was going to ask you how you felt about fighting at the Olympic Auditorium. But you know, it's big, right?
Oh, well, let me tell you, it saddens me to see that it's a church now, because like Grand Olympic Auditorium, I said to myself, I want to fight there. It was a goal of mine, and it's something that, you know, a goal, a mountain that I've overcome and I've climbed, because it was just a great boxing venue, and I used to hear about it all the time. Joe Olivo, he'd tell me stories, and I'd always hear the Grand Olympic Auditorium, Grand Olympic Auditorium, Grand Olympic Auditorium, you know? And then, I believe it was Eileen Eden who used to matchmake there, and they do it every week. And they had a Grand Olympic Auditorium, series, boxing series, and I said, one day I want to fight there, you know, and I fought there 2-3 times. I got to fight Twice, I believe, yeah. But it was just great both times, you know. Or was it 3 times? Did I fight there 3 times? I think I did.
Want me to check it out?
Yeah, do you have, I just thought you have the record. Okay.
Let's see.
I fought 3 times.
I think it was 3. That was,
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, okay. 3. Okay, yeah, and it was, every time it was just a great experience. You know, it was awesome. The crowd there it was just a boxing venue, and you know, that's something that we need to resurrect. That's a boxing venue. That's not a church. I was like, no, it's a church now. What is that? You know, I'll buy it back, right?
That's funny, man.
Yeah, it's true though.
And how did it feel after being the champion of the WBC youth? What did that feel like?
That was great. It was great, you know. I had a lot of my family there and friends and a lot of people who I didn't know, you know, coming up to me, hey champ, you know, it's good. It feels good to, you know, it's an awesome feeling to be able to be on top and
hold a big title.
Good. Yeah, and be good at what you do, you know, and be able to show off your accolades a little, you know. The WBC youth, it's still WBC,
Sure.
Even though it's youth, you know, it's a world championship, which is awesome.
Is the belt still green? Is the belt green?
Yeah.
Dude,
that was great. Yeah, it's cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That'd be cool.
So,
just having people want to hold your belt and stuff.
Yeah, even that. Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling because when you're working extremely hard, and when you have that belt around your waist, or when you're able to just have the belt, it's like, shit, this is awesome. This is why I worked hard. You know, I mean, or even, you know, the trophies that I had. Yeah, I had, you know, over 100 trophies, but each trophy I'd love showing them off because that was my hard work. Yeah. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to know that. You know, you know, there's a symbol, you know, that's out there showing how much hard work you put into a specific fight or whatever. It's right there, you know, and it's first place. It's a winner. You know, you get the world championship. I got the WBO championship of the world. You know, I got that belt. You know, beside the WBC. You know, and it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
And your next fight you fought Roque Cassiani.
Yeah, Rocky Cassiani. That guy was another crafty veteran. You know, they just kept bringing him on, and you know, I kept beating him. Rocky Cassiani. I remember him back in the gym. We'd always see each other. He was a friend of mine. You know, it wasn't like, you know, we were enemies, or he was just there to fight. So we fought, you know, and I ended up knocking him out in the 10th round, which was like phenomenal performance that I put on. You know, what I was able to get that knockout, you know, and it was just something, you know, that the crowd loved, you know, naturally. So I was excited about that, you know.
And what about the Silverio Ortiz fight? Tell me about that one.
Silverio Ortiz, I believe I got cut like in the 5th or 6th, and they stopped it because he was just. Oh no, I'm sorry. They stopped it because I broke his nose. They stopped it in the 4th round. Yeah, and I remember when I cracked him. I believe it was in the 3rd round, and it was just like something that you could, you know, it was outdoors and you could hear an echo still when his nose broke. Man, it was nasty. I didn't even know, you know, I caught him with an uppercut, and I'm not sure if it was a left or right uppercut, but I caught him, and I could just hear that crack. Wow. I didn't know what to do because I didn't know what it was, and then all of a sudden just blood started gushing out of his nose, and I was like, shit. came out the fourth. We started fighting again. Ray stopped it, and he took my doctor waved it off because it was just gushing. It was bad. It was a great performance.
Yeah. That's when you were doing your thing big. You love doing it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Then you fought Goyo Vargas. What did you see?
That was a good
ex-champ.
That was a test. That was another test. That was another part, you know? I mean, all the hurdles that they put in front of me, I mean, just Goyo Vargas was another test, and they had told me, like, this guy is dangerous. When I saw him, I was like, alright. I don't know how dangerous this guy's gonna be, but okay. And he was, you know? He was a dangerous, crafty veteran, but I went and I outboxed the shit out of him. And I dropped him in the sixth, I believe. And I angered him a little. He started pressuring me more, and he started coming in, but I was just outboxing him. And that was one of the greatest performances of my career. What I believe.
Yeah. You fought Jose Soto Carras. Tell me about that one.
Yeah. He was tough. I believe it was stopped another cut. He headbutted me, and you know, we fought. We were fighting up until the fifth, and I still wanted to fight. The doctor said no. I said, "Come on, you know, I want to beat this guy," you know, and they waved it off. I said, "Shit." So, I mean, it was just it was a great performance. That was it was a performance that was interfered because of a cut. You know, it's just unfortunate because I did what I wanted to fight him. You know, he was tough. He was a tough guy. And I believe his brother is doing bigger things now. I believe than him, because I haven't really heard too much about him.
No, me neither. I don't think much. Nothing going on in that guy's life. That was the fight before you got your championship shot. How'd that fight come up? How'd you get your shot at the title?
The championship, from what I remember, Golden Boy had told me I'm gonna fight this guy Gavin Reese. And I said, cool, let's fight him. And then I guess he fell out, and then they said, shit, we don't have the guy, but we got to fill in. This guy's a tough little Argentinian guy. He has 55 fights, something like that. 50 wins, 5 losses, and 35 knockouts, I think. And now I remember all this because I don't remember my record. I remember it from seeing my record and seeing this guy's record, and I said, 50 fights, 5 losses, 35 knockouts? Another hurdle, you know, it's another hurdle. These guys aren't giving me a break. So, you know, it was tough as shit. He came to fight, and we fought till the 12th round. I remember I dropped him the 12th, I believe. You know, throughout the whole fight, though, he put on, you know, he boxed me. I outboxed him the whole fight. But he tried to, you know, fight me, and I just hadn't let him, you know, and I outboxed him, and, you know, I did my movements, and I outworked him. I mean, the scores were lopsided, because, you know, I deserved that. You know, I mean, I won every round pretty much, you know, with the exception of a couple, you know, but for the most part, I mean, I just outboxed him, and I put on a great performance. You know, the guy, he was tough, though. I'll tell you that. Tough Argentinian.
Yeah. How'd you feel in the dressing room before the fight? Were you confident?
I was a little bit of both. I was more in awe because it was my championship fight. You know, it was something that I built up my whole life. It's something that any boxer would say that's what they want. You know, their whole life, they build up to that moment where they're able to say, I'm going to fight for the championship of the world. You're going to fight for the spot to be the best at whatever weight class it is, the best in the world. So, the feeling afterward, it was something, you know, that it's very hard to explain. I just couldn't believe it. Like, I stayed in the dressing room for, you know, a good half hour just looking at the belt. You know, I put it around my waist, and I just, you know, I raised it up in the air. I was showing it off everywhere. You know, I carried it around my waist, around my chest. You know, it was awesome. After we went out and went to like a nightclub or something like that, and I had it around my waist. You know, I was champion of the world. That was awesome. It's a great feeling.
And then you had your next fight against Jorge Barrios. What happened to that?
Jorge Barrios. That fight was extremely horrible. It was bad, you know. My preparation was bad. I had a flimsy nutritionist who said yes when I wanted to do stuff, and it was just bad. The whole thing was just bad. You know, the training camp was bad. I was in Paso Robles initially, and then they moved me over to Florida, which was new to me. The good thing about it was, one of the good things about it was I was under the tutelage of Buddy McGirt, and he's a great trainer. I just wasn't a focused fighter at the time because of all the distractions that were brought on to me by myself and individuals in my corner. It was something that I went through a lot. I mean, my body went through a lot, and it took a lot of damage before it took more damage. I definitely wasn't prepared, and I have no excuses. You know, a lot of people, you know, they ask me, like, you know, what happened, and I'll tell them the same thing that I'm telling you, because, you know, I pretty much just messed it up myself, you know. I don't blame anybody but me, because I allowed it to happen, which was something that, you know, it's just something that I feel better about. I'm not going to pass the blame, you know. It was my fault. I let it happen. So, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? You know, it's done over with now. It's a learning experience. I learned from that. And I've moved on from it, you know. It's not something that will haunt me for the rest of my life or anything, you know. It's just something that I chose to do. I chose to, and, you know, whatever distractions that I've had and stuff, I allowed them to distract me, because when I'm focused, I will focus. So, and I just wasn't focused. You know? I just wasn't, I allowed just too much.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
Much BS.
How'd you feel like after you lost that fight? Did you feel like maybe you were done, or did you feel like you might?
No, I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't done. I knew that it was just something that, you know, it was something that I, again, allowed to happen. I feel like, I felt, like, I felt horrible about, you know, the loss and just everything, and everyone. I felt horrible because I let down my fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that, I mean, I believe I've said that before, and I'll say it again because that's something that now I as a grown man, I think about that, and it's like, wow, I put so much into the how can I say, the approval of my fans, whomever they may be, my family, my friends, strangers, whatever, they're my fans, and I put so much on having them enjoy the fight more than me surviving. My focus is to not only fight and win, but to do it in a great fashion, to be able to entertain. And that's something that I've always done, really. I mean, I love being on the stage, I love to fight, and I'm pretty good at it, so I emphasize on performing for the crowd.
Yeah. How'd you feel going in the ring in your next fight after being beaten? Did you feel the same, or did you feel like there might be some doubts there?
No, you know what? I really had no doubts. Like I knew I was gonna go in and I was gonna win because I just knew it. Like there's something. I just said I'm gonna do it, and I did it. I did it. Who was it against after that? You have the record.
Right after that fight, it was. Let's see, Antonio Ramirez.
Oh, that was a great fight. Yeah, in the Bronx.
Yeah.
That was a great fight. That was a great. I mean, the guy was tough. He was tough, and he hit pretty hard too. And I remember, going into that fight, it was my first time fighting in New York, which was awesome. New York is an awesome state, Yeah, really cool, and I got to fight in front of it was a pretty big crowd at the old ballroom or Broadway or something. Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah, it was really cool though. Yeah, it was like a theater. It was a theater, a Bronx theater, Broadway theater.
Yeah.
So it was great. I put on a great performance. That's when I trained under the watchful eye of a gentleman by the name of Leo Delacides. You want me to spell that for you?
Yeah. What was it?
Leo Delacides. T-H-E. L-A-S-I-T-T-E-S.
Okay.
Is that Delacides?
Yeah.
Somewhat like it? Okay, cool. He's at the time he was an 83-year-old Marine, Army, Navy, he's got an award for being in all the armed forces. That is a Greek nut, just awesome. And I trained under his watchful eye, and he got me that win. He helped get me that win. He helped me out with that fight. And he's a great guy. And I'd like to mention his name because he deserves the credit. He's a great friend of mine still. Yeah. And he calls me from time to time. He wants me to go live with him. He does. He wants to train with me. He wants to train me, and he wants to go live. He wants to go live with them. I say, we gotta get stuff together, and hopefully we'll be able to get down there with you.
And so you're just gonna move in with him? Ain't you married?
Yeah, right. But he's trying to get me over there some way, somehow, because he feels that he under his training regimen, I'll be able to get right back up to where I belong. And I said, Leo, I believe that. And I also believe that with my training regimen, I'm going to do the same. So, when I do, and we're able to, I'll go over there and we'll train. Until then, you got to wait it out, I mean, he's going to live till he's 170 years old, so it doesn't matter. That guy's awesome. He's a great guy.
I find he's just a turtle. 70.
And his wife, she's a beautiful person also. I get along with his wife, and they call her, cause his name's Cora. Hey Cora, how's it going? How are you? I was like, well, I'm 20-minute conversation before I even get him on the phone, because she's a very nice person. He's a good guy. He gives me a hard time, Leo, why do you call me and bug me, man? Shit, don't you have anything better to do?
I'm not going to put this in there because he's heartbroken.
and he'll kill me for cussing. He's a devout Christian. The guy I swear to you, he makes me pray every time we end the conversation. And every day that we would train, we would pray. And which was great though. It brought structure to my life, and it allowed me to understand, the meaning of scheduling and everything. I'd get up, I'd go run and go do that, and then after we train, and he'd take me along. Great guy, great individual in my life, my boxing life, and my life period.
And that's the part I'll put in the article.
Please. You know what? He's gonna want to. He's probably gonna tell me to send this copy to him because I talk about him. I talk good about him. So if anything that has to do with him, he loves to keep it for his scrapbook collection. It just blows your ego up. I believe he's 86.
I'll rush
87.
I want to
No, I'm telling you, don't worry. You can take your time because he's gonna live till he's 170. I'm telling you. He's a bad man. And I love the guy. He's awesome. He's a great guy.
That's cool.
Really cool.
After that fight, was that you fought a young guy, Mauricio Herrera? He went on to some big things. How was that fight, man?
They had told me, it was funny because during that time I kind of made my way to the gym, and I did my thing, and I think I'll fight again. Yeah, I think I will. So I made my way over to Hollywood, and I went to Wildcard initially to get sparring, and I kind of wanted to put myself out there. So I got some sparring, and then after going for a couple weeks, no one wanted to spar. If I couldn't get sparring. So then I looked up, any other surrounding gyms, and I ran into Fortune Gym, and that's when I went over there to Fortune. I got sparring, and I went, for a couple days, 2-3 days in a row, and I liked the gym. It was cool, and that's when I told Justin, hey, you wanna train me or something? And he's saying sure. So a gentleman by the name of Mike Jacoby was there, and he came up to me and he got me the fight. He asked me if I wanted to fight this kid in 3 weeks, and at the time I was preparing myself, so I said, yeah, sure, why not? So we took the fight, and it was kind of like I was like in the Goyo Vargas, spot, and Ray Herrera was this up and coming kid, and I saw him and I didn't really see much, but I said, damn, what the hell, I'll fight him, I don't care, and I fought him, and I surprised him. I don't think the scores they were close, but I don't think I deserved a little more credit, because I beat him. I beat him decisively, I think. I mean, I just outworked him, and the guy had no answer for my punches. I'll fight him again. I'll fight him anytime he wants, because it was a split decision, and he couldn't believe it, and his trainer couldn't believe it. And I know his trainer, and they just wanted to, oh no, why, oh, I can't believe it, but I beat him.
How'd you feel when you found Justin Fortune as your trainer? What did you see in him that made you click with Justin Fortune?
Justin was, he's, just a jerk, and hard ass. He's a hard ass. That's what I'm. Yeah, not a jerk, a hard ass. That's kind of like what. That's like what I was like, cool. I dig it. I don't mind. And he's very offensive when it comes to the boxing. He'll tell you to work more on the offense than the defense, I would say. He was driven toward that area. So me being a defensive type of fighter, I was able to incorporate both, which was great, which was awesome, and I mean, with Herrera, he didn't really punch me that much, in the face. And maybe he caught me a couple times, but for the most part, I was able to, dodge everything and give him, I give him a lot, so with Justin, he was pretty, he was a good coach, we just kind of, we couldn't find that after that fight, it was against
Freddie Hernandez.
Yeah, and I lost that fight, and that's kind of, after that, it was just kind of like, I was trying to find answers, and he was trying to find answers, and, there was stuff, I just want to say stuff in my life that was happening, and it was kind of like, it kind of fizzled out, I guess, our relationship, and I don't really plan on, going back, it's unfortunate, because I felt that, we could have gone longer, but I don't, I called them and I told them, that I don't think it's going to work out, so,
What happened in the Freddie Hernandez fight?
Freddie Hernandez, there was a lot of mental stuff going on with me, I believe, and I mentally lost it before I physically lost it.
So you kind of were burnt out on boxing, period, at that time?
That, and there's just other stuff going on in my life that I kind of had to sort out, and that kind of weighed on me as well, and it was just a lot of distractions, and I hate to make excuses for every loss, because I lost, but
there's a reason for it.
I just wasn't confident that the loss was was a loss. You know, it was there's always, you know, there was something involved with it. So that there, with that loss there, you know, it was just, you know, it was crap. What I want to do with my career, and just like every other fighter who is trying to get to that next level of respect, is go and defeat my losses. You know, I want to fight Darling Hernandez. I want to fight Jorge Barrios. I want to fight Darling Hernandez. I want to fight Freddie Hernandez. I want to fight all of them again. I want to rematch them, and I want to beat them.
And when can we see you in the ring again? It's been a while. Where you been?
Yeah, it has. It has. I've kind of, you know, slowly getting back into the groove of things. I've kind of been wandering from gym to gym in Southern California, trying to get some sparring and just, you know, just training. I took a step up. This month, I've taken a step up in my work rate, and you know, right now we're kind of, like I say, Justin and I are not working together anymore, so we have to find another chief second, which is, you know, it's a job in itself. We have to find someone that we're able to mesh with, and we're able to, you know, have confidence in. And I acquired a new manager, and he's you know, our relationship is great, and he's willing to help me with my career, you know. So right now, you know, I'm building my team, so to speak. All I need is a trainer now. I got my manager now. I need a trainer, and we'll be able to proceed.
So is there a time frame on it when you'll be back in the ring?
I want to say within the next couple of months, because I've been working and I feel great, you know, and you know, I mean, I've gotten a physical and nothing's wrong with my marbles or any, you know, any physical limb in my body. You know, nothing. You know, everything's about to give me a green light. So I'm just working at a, you know, steady, progressive pace, and you will see me in the near future in the ring.
Yeah, great, man. And what's boxing done for you?
Boxing has saved my life. Yes, boxing saved my life, to put it bluntly. You know, you can take whatever you want out of that, but boxing has saved my life.
And let's see. So, what have you been doing with your time since 2010, your last fight?
I actually work with kids at the JRT's boxing gym, and I kind of got into that. I took on a heavier responsibility at one point, and then I decided, all right, now it's time to come back. So I weaned off a little, and I'll go there. I'll still, you know, go help out at least once a week, and that's a gym in El Monte. I did that. I would construction, a little odd men's job. I kind of trained in between all that, and you know, other than that, it's just been slowly, you know, slowly and methodically regaining my focus and my physical fighting body frame that I need to get back into the ring. I've been working on myself.
And you're married with how many kids?
No kids.
Oh, you got no
kids. No kid. Married 3 years. We celebrated the 3rd year anniversary past August. I'm sorry. This next August is gonna be 4 years. So yeah, this past August is 3rd year anniversary. And it's been great. You know,
good, man. And I didn't hear one thing you said. I didn't hear it. You work at the something Ortiz boxing gym. What was it?
Jerry Ortiz boxing. I volunteer there. I don't even work there. I work there a little, but you could just put volunteer because, you know, it's just predominantly what my time went to, volunteering.
Okay. And it's Jerry?
Yes, Jerry Ortiz is a gentleman. He was in my corner one time for
his name.
Funny. Yeah, from my championship fight. Mm-hmm. And then about 4 or 5 months later, gets shot and killed. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Great guy too. I mean, he was one of my great friends. And he gets shot and killed. It's horrible, yeah. Horrible. I want to say he was like in his early 30s, something like that. Maybe early to mid 30s.
Lousy, man.
I mean, young guy, good-looking guy. You know, he had 2 kids. You know, and gutsy. I mean, he was a boxer. You know, and gutsy guy. And he went on a call on his own, and they said he shouldn't have. And but he did anyway, and he ended up getting shot right in the head. And at point blank, it's like, geez, I felt both hatred and sadness at the same time. It was horrible when I found out. You know, and at the time it was like maybe, I want to say like 2-3 months after my loss, and I wasn't in the greatest shape or in the greatest mindset. So when that happened, that was like, you know, it was something on top of my sorrows, just added to my sorrows, pretty much.
And that was before what fight, was it?
Excuse me?
It happened before what fight?
It happened after my first loss, which was to Jorge Barrios. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it was horrible. Yeah. It was bad. It was bad on top of bad, you know?
Yeah. It does suck, man. But that's all I got.
What is it? Yeah.
What's that? What did you say? I thought you were done.
No, I was gonna say worse on top of bad. You know, it was worse.
Yeah. It was like a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, that's what it was. You know, it was horrible. It was just. I mean, I got to the guy's wedding like maybe, 3 weeks prior to that. 3 weeks. 3 weeks prior to that. You know, and got newly married. Unbelievable to hear that. I'm still in disbelief of how he's gone. I mean, the guy was young, good guy too, really cool, really mellow. You know, he was in my corner. He was I flew him over to Florida. You know, he'd go and visit me in training. Sometimes he owned a Harley, and you could hear him from a mile away coming down. Because the guy had them glass packs on there, and he was just an avid, it's really energetic, adventurous guy. And we went to some fights together, and he was a good friend, really good friend. It's horrible to lose him now.
Yeah. You'd make a good commentator, man. You talk good,
No, I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to get into that. I think that's my calling right there. Commentating fights. I love talking boxing. As you know, talking period is in my repertoire. So talking boxing would even, and getting paid for it would even be better. That's something that I think I want to venture into as well.
Yeah, I think you've got a future, man.
That's great. I appreciate that. Thank you. Because that adds a little more, builds up my self-esteem to go and actually do it.
I could do that.
You could actually say that you were part of it. You see me on TV.
Is that right, buddy?